Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and on today's Work in Progress Wednesday, we've got Will Ospreay, we've got Great O'Con, we've got the United Empire. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, today I am working on a couple of the members of the United Empire. I'm working on Will Ospreay, and then I've also got Great O'Con, and I do have a Jeff Cobb that I'm going to be doing. I just don't have the pieces I need yet, and I really want to get these together, so I'm gonna get to the Jeff Cobb eventually. I'll add him in, but I had to do a Will Ospreay. I've done a Best of Super Juniors figure of him. I've not done like a more updated heavyweight, an updated Will Ospreay. So with him, we're going to use the Seth Rollins body, and then I want to make him an ultimate. I went back and forth between using the ultimate torso and using a Stone Cold torso, and decided I would go with the ultimate. Going to use the Jeff Hardy torso. Obviously, you can see I swapped the arms off already. Just took those from a Cowboy Bob Orton figure. And then these are the decals. This is the attire I'm going to go with. So these are printed from 3XR Studios decal library. And those, like, they're obviously not like measured and cut. So those will be a little bit extra while I'm applying the decals. The head scan here is from Headeration. Fantastic Ospreay head scan. This one, I have already put the sculpting clay in it. So I just put the clay in, kind of like use a neck peg to maneuver the hole in there, and then I use a Dremel to clean it up a little bit. And you'll see this one I have not done, so this one's just completely empty still. So I'll need to put that in there, and I'll need to make him just a tiny bit, like make this sit a tiny bit higher on the neck, so it's like up here. But this one was kind of fun to put together. So we have a Kevin Owens torso, some Daniel Bryan arms, and then this crotch piece and legs are actually from a Hacksaw Jim Duggan figure. I think it was the Retrofest exclusive. And then we've got some legs, or the lower calves are from the calves, lower legs are from a Jerry Briscoe, I think it was. I think that's what I had unboxed a while back, but pretty simple formula for him. We're just going to need to paint his tights, paint the shoelaces, and then he's just got these two decals. So most of the heavy lifting is going to be on this Ospreay over here, but not going to need to paint him. Going to need to acetone off that design. Let's get to it. All right, time to get to work. So both of these guys are going to have the pale skin tone. So again, with the Apple Barrel paint for pale skin tones, I use Light Mocha, Sun-Kissed Peach, Classic Caramel, and Territorial Beige. So I got to get a few layers on both of these guys before anything else happens. So just alternating back and forth with these guys, and some people will only paint the faces. I paint the whole head just because I think it brings out the texture a little more, and then I can just kind of like visualize the sculpt a little bit better. Not going to go like all the way down with Great O'Con on his beard, and I am just going to paint black, but nonetheless, going to add that skin tone in a lot of places. His body is going to be easy. I just have to paint that crotch piece black and add the decals. Obviously, where it comes in, the hard part is going to be the Will Ospreay. So I'm going to acetone off the thigh designs. Not going to do it on the crotch piece because that's going to be completely covered. I don't know exactly how much is going to cover the legs, so I'm just going to get all that design off instead of going in and touching it up afterwards. But same with the boots. Everything will mostly be covered, but rather just acetone off the design so I don't have to worry about that later. And I love these Rollins legs, but there's so much design on them that it takes forever. Same with this Ultimate Edition Jeff. Hopefully I can pick up a lot of Ultimate AJs when those go on clearance like I did with this Jeff. I think I picked up a bunch of them for $6.49. So obviously way less to do on the acetone with the AJ body, so hopefully we can pick some of those up. Can piece it all back together. So Ospreay's body is ready to go, so it's time to start working on these decals. So a little bit of this is going to be trial and error because I don't know exactly how they go on. His tights designs are very intricate and there's a lot going on, so gonna just kind of try and piece things together as I go, and hopefully it turns out looking good, but just gonna take it like little by little. That's one thing that's made me not want to do an Ospreay, is just how crazy his attires are, but they make for really cool looking toys. So I started out, so I got all that top design on. I think I'm going to put the waistband on the actual torso instead of on the pants, just because he kind of wears them a little bit higher. But then next I'm going to add the side decals, as you can see. So then this part, it was really hard to find good pictures of everything all the way around. You can see the decal doesn't quite fit. I don't have a great paint that matches that, so I will get to it, but for now I'm just going to keep it where it is. Then that back crotch piece decal was a pain. You'll see at the very end like kind of how it turned out, but I don't know if I could have like cut it a little bit differently, but that was a pain to get on. Boots, knee pads, those are just a matter of getting them in place and not smudging them up. Those are pretty easy. But that is pretty much it for Ospreay. Gonna touch it up a little bit, but then here comes Great O'Con. I gotta put all my focus into these decals, and those are done. So then coming back here, I do want to paint up the hair. Obviously, I have my other Ospreay head. I'm gonna put like a little dry brush on that, and then gonna do the same. So I don't have a perfect science for the hair. Sometimes it's just kind of like, depending on how like sweaty someone is, or where, like what point a reference picture's taken, or like the lighting. Blonde can be a little bit hard, so it's just kind of like a mixing and matching, seeing what I think looks good. So Ospreay, I did go a little bit lighter. Great O'Con is just going to be kind of a mix of a brown and a black. So I never do just plain black when I do facial hair or hair on their head, but I'll add like at least a little bit of brown in there, because just plain gloss black never looks good, even if someone does just have like black hair. So I didn't like how the first layer of brown was, so I did make a mix that was a little bit darker, and then I'm going to use a lighter color to brush over the top a little bit, kind of get some of those curls to stand out a little more. There we have it. There are my finished Will Ospreay and Great O'Con, and again, I am very happy with how these turned out. With Great O'Con, it was really about nailing the head sculpt, and then Will Ospreay is just kind of the total package. There's so many things going on with his attires, so much, like especially with 3XR Studio, his decals aren't like separated and cut how you should apply, so they're not, it's not like here's the leg, here's the crotch piece. Like you got to kind of figure out where everything's supposed to go, so it adds a little bit of extra challenge to it. But I'm really happy with how that turned out. You can see here there's a few creases in there, and they're a little more apparent on screen than they are just looking at. And this back crotch piece got a little messed up, and the light like really makes it stand out. But overall, I'm really happy with it. It was a challenge, and it was the first time making an Ospreay, and there will be more down the road, so not something I'm going to get too bent out of shape with. I really like how the decals on the boots came out, the knee pads. I decided to go with the waistband up on the torso. I know like some wrestlers do wear their tights a little higher, and sometimes that translates well in the figure, sometimes it doesn't. I feel like it does real well in this case. I'll pop the head scans off to get a little bit closer look here. But with Will, you can see I put like a dry brush in there. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I really like I think the fading of the side of the hair and everything came out about how I expected. You know, sometimes I go into it and it doesn't quite turn out how I want it to, but with this Ospreay, I don't think that's the case. I'm really happy with it overall. With Great Okan, it was really about nailing the head sculpt. The decals and painting obviously were really easy. I did end up giving him the Lord Tensai hand. I have that, I have extra in my collection, and I didn't really know when I would ever use it, so I decided to go ahead and put it on Okan. But with him, I really tried to focus on the beard and really make it look good. So it's got kind of the darker towards the bottom and then fades as it goes up. Happy with the hair. It goes around there. You can see I got the little teeth. He wears a mouth guard, so the mouth guard wasn't fully sculpted in there, but the little teeth were in there. So I did get those painted white, got the bottom teeth, got the lip color in there, and that's probably one of the better head scans that I have done before. I haven't been painting him a super long time, so again, real happy. But I have Jeff Cobb coming along. Gonna get him done eventually. I need to get the rhino parts. I do actually have another Will Ospreay that I've done, but this one was a very basic one from his Best of Super Juniors back when he was still wrestling in the juniors division. So that one I feel like I made a little too tall. I don't know if you can quite tell, but like just a fraction tall. I feel like I went with the thighs just a little too big, but smaller build there. I think that my Ultimate really captures the size and just aesthetic that he kind of has now. So overall, real happy. Like I said, a couple of minor things that I could touch up, do better on the next one, but nonetheless, excited to finally add an updated Will Ospreay to the collection. If you like what we're doing here, if you have any requests for Work in Progress Wednesday, feel free to comment, hit me up on Instagram. I love talking about any kind of action figures, so always feel free to reach out. Other than that, please continue to like, share, subscribe, support the channel. I always appreciate it. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude out.